Good day everyone. Welcome to my video, which is mainly prepared for people who wish to apply for skilled migration in Australia. This is also helpful if you have no lawyer or registered migration agent. We are all aware that immigration law is complex. I know that making your own application can be stressful and confusing experience. Every day, I deal with clients complaining that they are stuck somewhere with their visa application. It is beyond doubt how challenging it is to apply for skilled migration in Australia. So, today, I would like to share the step-by-step process on how to apply for PR. There are actually 8 crucial steps to consider when applying for PR under skilled migration pathway. Let's begin with step 1. Explore your visa options. It is important to identify the visa type you wanted to apply as it will affect your point score. I'm saying this because with skilled migration as your pathway, there are 3 subclasses of visa. 1 is subclass 189, 2 is subclass 190, and 3 is subclass 491. With skilled independent visa, subclass 189, this does not require sponsorship by a relative or state or territory government. In terms of points, you are required to have at least 65 points. With skilled nominated visa or subclass 190, this requires nomination by Australian state or territory government. In terms of points, you are required to have at least 60 points, and then the state government will award you 5 points. With skilled work regional provisional, this is temporary, known as subclass 491. This also requires nomination by Australian state or territory or eligible relative. In terms of points, you are required to have at least 50 points, and then the state will award you 15 points. Step 2. Eligibility check in relation to your occupation. It is important to identify your skill so that you can nominate your suitable occupation. You have to double check if that occupation is classified under the medium long-term strategic skilled list known as MLT-SSL or short-term skilled occupation list known as STSOL. If your occupation is classified under MLT-SSL, then you are eligible to apply under subclass 189. And if your occupation is classified under STSOL, then you are only eligible to apply under subclass 190 or 491. And this still depends on the state requirements or list of their own occupations. Okay, so make sure that you have a sufficient work experience in order to consider your occupation in a skilled level employment. Step 3. This still relates to eligibility check in relation to point score. As previously mentioned, skilled migration is a points-tested visa. The current minimum score is 65 points. However, this depends on the occupation and the state requirement. For example, if your occupation is accountant, you are required to at least 100 points to be invited. And if you are a software engineer, at least 95 points. Below are the factors or aspects which gives a detailed breakdown on how points are awarded for skilled independent visa, state nominated visa, and skilled work regional. I will discuss in details in my next presentation because there are currently more than 10 factors to consider when awarding of points. Step 4. English language ability requirement. This is one of the visa criteria to apply for skilled migration, and this is a requirement at the time of invitation. You can apply for PR with competent English only, but no points awarded. If you are a passport holder of New Zealand, USA, United Kingdom, Ireland, and Canada, then no need to take the acceptable English language exam. However, if you think you need to increase your points for a higher chance to receive an invitation, then it is highly recommended to take the English test. To be awarded with 10 points, you are required to obtain 7 in each band of the test component. This is for IELTS academic. And for PTE academic, you are required to obtain 65 in each test component. If you obtain 8 in each band for IELTS, then you will be awarded with 20 points. Step 5. Skills assessment. For your visa application to be valid, you must provide evidence that you have a suitable skills assessment. This must be obtained in the 3 years before the date of your invitation. Bear in mind that it is a mandatory requirement to have a successful outcome for your skills assessment. Every occupation will be assessed by the designated assessing body or authority by the Australian government. The reason for this is to ensure that your skills and qualifications are in accordance with the Australian Qualification Framework Standard. For example, if your occupation is ICT Support Engineer, the assessing body for this occupation is the Australian Computer Society. Currently, most of the general professions like restaurant manager, management consultant, industrial pharmacist, chef, these occupations are assessed by VETASES. I will also explain in detail in my next presentation about skills assessment requirements and how to obtain a successful outcome. We are now on step 6. Apply and submit your expression of interest or EOI. When you submit your EOI, you will be given an indicative point score based on your claims you made. If you provide incorrect, false, or misleading information, your application might be refused. Use Skills Select to make an expression of interest. All EOI must be completed online. There is no fee to create or submit as EOI is not a visa application. Remember this, EOI is not a visa application. It is important to choose the suitable visa type, either subclass 189, 180, or 491. Currently, the minimum point score is 65 points, but it depends on your occupation. For example, if your occupation is accountant, the minimum score is 100 points. For IT occupation to be invited, minimum points is 95. If you don't meet the pass mark, you can still submit but will not be invited. Step 7. Apply and submit state or territory nomination. Once you submit your EOI, you will be given a reference number which you can use to apply for state nomination. It is crucial to check the terms and conditions of every state or territory you wish to apply. For example, in Victoria, you can submit EOI and state nomination simultaneously. But in the state of Queensland, you submit first your EOI and wait for them to nominate and invite you to apply for the visa. Be mindful on this part because I have seen a lot of applications under subclass 190 and 491 wherein the applicant or the agent failed to apply and submit state or territory nomination. Finally, step 8. Once your EOI is submitted, you wait for the invitation or nomination either from the Department of Home Affairs or the state or territory government. You will be invited directly by the Department of Home Affairs if you're eligible for 189, which is Skilled Independent Visa. But if you are eligible for 190, which is State Nominated Visa, or 491, then you will receive a nomination from the state. Usually from the date of invitation, you have to apply within 60 days to lodge your visa application with the Department of Home Affairs. You are required to upload the necessary and relevant evidence. It is important to label each evidence correctly for the case officer's convenience. Ensure that the information you provided in your EOI is consistent with the information in your visa application. Lodge and pay the visa application charge, which is currently 4,045 Australian dollars plus 1.32% card surcharge. This is only for the main applicant. So if you have secondary applicants, then you are required to also pay for the secondary applicants' visa application charge. Once you lodge your visa application, you will then receive an acknowledgement letter and a copy of your payment receipt. Assuming you already lodged your visa application, all you have to do is to wait for the decision. If there are outstanding documents, the case officer will send you a request for further information, which is Section 56 of the Migration Act. You are required to provide the requested documents within a certain period of time, usually 28 days from the date you received the request. Currently, the average processing time for subclass 189 is 12 months, for subclass 190 is 7 to 9 months, and for subclass 491, there is no standard processing time indicated on the department's website. If your visa is granted, you will receive a grant notification letter from the Department of Home Affairs outlining the visa conditions, especially the arrival date in Australia. I hope you gained some helpful tips out of this video. And if you require further information and visa assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us on our details below. Thank you.